Hello, good afternoon, how are you? Welcome back to Thailand, sorry Cat, comes to Bali Mind, hope you're doing well, True Blue Tie here, and we're in a bit of a different location, not actually in my home, except outside, where there's a lot of noise and animals, etc. For instance, basically what's called in my extension. So, for instance, if I decided to set up shop here and see how it looks, also to have the sun in my eye, and etc. or whatever. Also worry about the camera. Anyway, so for instance, give this a go and then see how this works, and we'll take it from there. Anyway, so for instance, I hope you're doing well. For instance, if you don't know me, my name is True Blue Thai. For instance, I live in Thailand, as you probably told you, and just to get the timer sorted so I don't keep you waiting. Yeah. Anyway, so for instance, I live in Thailand. I've been here for about 3 years. Big Manchester City fan. I've been a Man City fan all my life. Been going to Man City ever since the 1970s. And so for instance, now what's it called? I just like to keep up with my. I miss Man City. Going to Man City so much, it's unbelievable. And I want to. I like to talk about what's going on in our club, or for instance, what my personal opinions are. You may agree with them, disagree with them, for instance, but as long as we have a civil conversation, I don't mind. What's it called? Because quite honestly, for instance, it's a free world, as it were. I think so. Anyway, so for instance, I just basically just want to put my point of view across. If you like what you hear, subscribe. If you don't, up to you. What's it called? It's again, for instance, it's a free society. So I just want to give the news updates or anything which has happened since I talked to you yesterday, because again, there's I never like to. I saw Hugh on his channel straight after, and he's reacting directly after the game, and so I can kind of understand Hugh's point of view. For instance, HMTV, and for instance, and I can understand why he feels this way. For instance, at the time. What's it called? Since then, I've actually looked at a few other people's channels, etc., for instance, and cities channels, and their expressions. And there was a certain degree of a couple of one. I saw one who was really kind of aggressive towards Man City and, for instance, calling the players out, which I thought there is, but there isn't. But the problem is, like, so to use the word terminology, is like he's shit, he's crap, he's rubbish, blah blah blah, and for instance, get rid of him, blah blah blah. And I just don't think that's helpful in any way whatsoever. And it's not the fact that, for instance, these players don't need to be called out for what for where we are at the moment. It's just the fact that I think there's more than one circumstance, etc., where you can actually say why we are where we are right now. For instance, strangely enough, I was actually listening to ESPN this morning, and for instance, and I was listening to I saw the highlights of Liverpool and Real Madrid, and I saw the reaction of ESPN, the usual guys, etc., for instance, talking about Real Madrid and how Real Madrid are. Anyway, so for instance, but it was really, really strange because, quite honestly, for instance, what were they talking about? For instance, injuries to Real Madrid. For instance, Real Madrid missing key players. Real Madrid, for instance, not as pressing as high as much. Real Madrid, for instance, or what's it called? The players, for instance, not playing are not stepping up, e.g. Mbappe and the English lad, etc. For instance, yeah. Anyway, so for instance, Bellingham. Anyway, so for instance, and I thought, but he didn't mention Man City, Real Madrid. They were just mentioned exactly, for instance, the leaders are not showing the leaders on the pitch and blah blah blah. And if they had this guy, like for instance, would be better. And I'm thinking, what does that sound like? And a guy, for instance, actually posted on the just today, for instance, and he said, "Doesn't it weird? What's it called? How Man City and Real Madrid's form, are very similar to each other, considering, for instance, the amount of games Real Madrid play to whereas the games Man City play. He was actually shot down by that and said, blah, blah, blah. But I think he had a point because Real Madrid are going through this injury crisis and Man City are going through an injury crisis. Real Madrid have players not performing, and look at where they are in the Champions League, for instance. Now, there is a certain degree of dismissiveness of Liverpool's win yesterday. Ah, for instance, Real Madrid won't care because, they'll shine later on in the tournament. But look at where they are at the moment. So that was for instance, and they might be joining City, for instance, in the what's it called, the playoffs. So, for instance, the extra 2 games, and we might even draw each other, which is probably typical. But yeah, so it's interesting to see how, for instance, Real Madrid are performing compared to how Man City are performing. And yeah, so kind of like you got to kind of put things in conjecture a little bit. But again, for instance, and I've always said, you've always got to stand back and look at things at a big picture rather than actually being very small-mindedness in the way you look at things. Just a big before I start, by the way, I just want to congratulate Tiki, for instance, Ted Bergerstein. He's one of the best director of football of 2024. Now that might go down a little bit. Ooh, what? So like him, yeah, this guy. Why we need to buy a striker, blah blah blah. But like again in the documentary, for instance, he actually comes out and says the frustration, and is all right saying yes, he's going. For instance, he hasn't bought this and he buy that. There's probably a good reason for it. Pep said many times he said sometimes the players just don't want to come. So for one reason or another, I don't know. Maybe they don't like the Manchester weather. Cause, why would you come to Man City? Because the Manchester weather. Because you go to Old Trafford, no problem with the weather there, but you don't want to come to Man City weather. So but anyway, so there's maybe one reason, but I think, for instance, overall, he's compared to what he has signed, and he has signed Rodri, and he has signed some very good players for Man City. And I think has done a great job. So, well done, Tiki. Congratulations to you, even though a lot of people will disagree. But I just think, for instance, again, for instance, you've got to put things in conjecture a little bit. Again, in my eyes. For instance, and I thought, when you add the standard of the Champions League, Man City in 15th doesn't look great. But again, if you look at the fact that City Extra said today, as it stands, Man City are 1 point behind Bayern Munich, Benfica, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan, 2 points behind Leverkusen, Arsenal, Monaco, Aston Villa, Sporting, Brest, Lille, 3 points behind Atlanta. So it's not that bad. For instance, and the teams which are ahead of Brugge, Zagreb, and 2 points ahead of Real Madrid. And also where's PSG? They're not even in the. So for instance, then we got to play PSG and Juventus, etc. For the next couple in Bruges. But the mere fact that, for instance, is it a total collapse and calamity and blah blah blah? Is it an absolute no? Overall, no. So, for instance, should we be worried, concerned? Yes, there's things that need to be addressed and done, but is this a total other collapse? Because again, for instance, people look at their own clubs, but I think sometimes you can maybe look at the entire, say, Premier League or the Champions League clubs, and to say that, for instance, maybe it's not as bad as what you first think. And again, we're only still quarter of the way through the season. We only had 12 games of the Premier League, and we're the knockout phase of the Champions League, really, the league stage. So we haven't still got another few games to go. And this should have been all done and dusted by now before we get to Christmas, etc. But because of where it is now, for instance, it's all in now. But yeah, so for instance, maybe stop looking as bad. For instance, I saw Ilkay Gundogan says the final game feels like a loss. It was if we lose 2-2 not at home, obviously we'd be disappointed. But it's the way we did it. I could not only be it's worse. Concede that it could only be worse if we conceded a fourth goal and lost. The sensation right now, I'm honest, is a massive disappointment, and which I agree with him. And so, for instance, so There you go. For instance, it's and it's the players probably feel it the same way. In like for instance, and again, Gundogan, except not Gundogan, Gundogan for once is actually not getting any. We've Gundogan played by a lot of the what's it called the reactionaries. So for instance, um, what's it called? But Guardiola's getting it in the head. And again, for listening to this one guy's website, Gundogan should be dropped. I heard people saying Gundogan should be sold. Can you believe it? This guy has been an absolute brilliant. He's playing in a position which he doesn't normally play. For instance, and he's absolutely been the best. He's scored important goals for us, and he's been brilliant. In the last two games, he's not had a good game. Mainly, Anna, part of the fact that he's been playing every single game since, for instance, the start of the season. Maybe he's a little bit tired. He didn't have a very long pre-season. Played in the Euros, come back. Didn't have a long, for instance, then he played in the pre-season, which a lot of players didn't. For instance, then he playing near enough every game, and then also Croatia as well. So, for instance, and did well. So, could he be a little bit tired? For instance, possibly. What's it called? But I think, for instance, to call him out, to actually slate him in the way, I think that's way OTT. But for instance, and I'm sure he'll be back. For instance, he's probably a bit of confidence. But then again, the team has, and the problem is, the thing is, he was the one said a guy going back to this website, and he said he was the instigator of the downfall. I thought, wow, that's a bit strong, maybe a bit much. For the ball to get where the ball has to get, he needs to get through the midfield. He's got to go past the strikers through the midfield to get to Gundogan. Sorry, to get to Guardiola. So, for instance, so it's a little bit rich to say that, for instance, he was the only one, and for instance, involved. And again, for instance, I think it all comes down to a lot of people saying. I was watching the Mancunian away yesterday, and I think a lot of people were saying the same thing. I saw ESPN; they were talking about it. I saw the Sun. From today, because everybody's having sticking their old I know what's wrong with Man City, and Man City has got this amount of problems with him, which I've said from the beginning, because it's not just one problem. We've got about half a dozen, for instance, issues at Man City. But for instance, to sit there and say that Guardiola, for instance, is the main issue, for instance, is wrong. But I think, for instance, if we would have had a full strength squad, again, it comes down to injuries. For instance, what we've got, players playing with issues. For instance, 3-0 up, essentially, the game's won, seeing the game out, where leaders on the pitch, not on the pitch, not on the pitch. Diaz, I thought, for instance, said training prior to final, I thought, brilliant, Diaz, and then he didn't come on. He didn't come on for 5 minutes. He didn't come on for the last 15 just to close off the game. Like Diaz with him on, they would have been a 3-3. Definitely not, 100%. Because he knows he's a leader. He knows what to do, and he would have had the guys back. He would have dragged them back an extra 10 yards and said, "Listen, we're going to defend from here." Okay, because that's what he does. He's a leader, defense leader, and missing him has been an issue. So it's created a massive issue on the defense. The other guys can fairly step up, etc. But for example, the main leader, or the guy, for instance, who a lot of people say who should be captain overall, should be Diaz. Anyway, but I've just seen pictures of him again. The Etihad in blue training. So let's see if he, for instance, makes an appearance. There was doubts on the Mancunian way. What they were saying that there was doubts he's playing against them, which I think, for instance, even a 70% fit Diaz would make a difference. So yeah, I think we need him. At a time when we need our defence to stand up, we need our best player. And the best player right now in defence is Diaz. So, for instance, 100%. So we need to absolutely bring him on. Nunes also, for instance, because I thought Nunes very good. He's actually our, most assists at the moment. He's got 5 assists. Rico Lewis has got 4. Rico Lewis is getting some crap as well, which I think he does there. Again, a hell of a lot. He's and guy, for instance, was supposed to be the to be the same, but he's not, you know, and I was getting by a lot of people, for instance, which I don't think you should be done. Anyway, so yeah, for instance, I was a bit uh, wrong. For instance, supposed to go to actually call that Gundy one. Just now and again, so there's this thing we're going to get absolutely done. We're going to get done 10-0. For instance, you know, and I can always remember. Last season, uh, I think that sorry, I say United went to Liverpool and we got done. Was it 7-0? 7-0. So for instance, and there you go. United last season went to Liverpool, and prior to that, what's it called? They were playing, you know, United really. So they were absolutely awful. Liverpool were flying, and everybody expected 0. Guess what? 0-0. So, for every time I've seen like Southampton, from Southampton coming, Man City should do them 5-0. It's what's it called? Who we play Champions League game? We're doing these. You know, not always. This is the league. This is not a fee. What's it called? The football game. It's not always set in stone. The 5, 6, 7-0. For instance, I very much doubt. You know, maybe you lose 2 goals to an extent of what people are saying. We're not that bad. We're not as bad as United, for Christ's sake. You know, and I'm sorry. Many people they got you got kind of like a little bit. The fact that I'm out, you know, I don't. You got to support them when you win, and to support them when you lose. Simple as that. And I'll be watching it. Consider it be like a night kick-off again, considering Sunday morning, etc. Or Monday morning watch. So I think I'm just watching, but I'll be sat there watching, leaving this week. The chances are probably not. But Liverpool are playing. As and Liverpool fan or whatever, and you're saying to me, "Oh, we're not playing great." But it's not, it's not written in stone the fact that Liverpool's going to stuff us 7-0. So I'm sorry, it's not. I don't care what people are saying. I'm sick and I was listening to Alan today, for instance. I guess on midweek on what's it called? What was his name? On what do you call it? On Mancunian Way, and stuff, whatever. God, how the hell do you wake up in the morning? Christ, just this negativity. It's just you got to be. I don't think the football players are going to go there and expect him to come 6 and 7. I really don't. For instance, I'm sure Pep we'll do something. We're not, we have issues, but we're not that bad. We're not relegation candidates, fodder. We're not. What's it called? It's not smack Man City over, in 10-0 fodder. For Christ's sake. Just want to wish the Americans happy Thanksgiving. Congratulations. Have a nice, enjoy turkey and everything. So, for instance, and got quite a few Americans over here celebrating Thanksgiving. Went down outside before, and saw a lot of foreigners. No helmet, using this place like his own personal racetrack. It's absolutely the most ludicrous thing. Honestly, it really is. It's pathetic. It's just that when that one down there, what's it called, turns red. So, to the point of going at speed, going down here, when you're going, and also when you're going past schools, hospitals, primary, what's it called? What do you call them? Creches, and people, going about the business and businesses, and he was so ridiculous. And the amount of people, for instance, I think the traffic statistics, I think last year, because it's getting there up there already, it was 15,000 dead on Thailand's roads last year. 15,000 dead, compared to England. I think England, let's go to the UK, was 1,000, not even 2,000, 1,500. And Thailand's 15,000. 15,000. You have to use smart. Yes, any person could ride a motorbike fast. It's just, you got to wear your helmet. A woman, just go on that a little bit. A woman, a Thai woman, for instance, wearing a helmet, had an accident where a bus, right, a coach, ran over her head, right? And do you know why? And do you know how she survived? Because she had the helmet on. The helmet was, like a pancake, but she managed to survive. Okay, medical injuries. And ran, coach ran his tire right over her head. Okay, but she survived because she had a helmet on. Just think how your head would be now if you didn't have a helmet on and a bus and a coach ran its big wheels over your head. Smart, be smart. Any person could ride a motorbike fast. We're talking about like performances right now. Look at you. Someone when I watched this and I thought it was quite interesting. Like talking about Man City. They've won one game in August, one game in September, one game in October, and one game in November. And they're going on about, we got if it's going to change, la la la. United fans, huh? Games. Why are you 13th? Like, yeah, but if it's going to change now, we've got Amarin. Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, 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 okay. Happy. There's also someone actually put on December 18th, Manchester City lying ninth. Points 20. Liverpool had a points 28. Goal difference +5. Guess what happened at the end of that season in 2021? We won the league. Again, and can't just keep on thinking that it's all going. It's going to go pear shaped. It's all going to go blah blah blah, and everything's got to go. So yeah, do we have issues? Yes. If we can get black and fit and healthy, for instance, that would go a long way. And then we've got January coming up, get a few players in, and then totally do we. But we need we still get players out. Again, we'll have Echeverry, we'll have Oscar Bob back, for instance. So we'll get a few players in. And I'm being a happy clapper, okay. But the fact is, you got a long tooth in this. Okay, I don't know which tooth I'm long, but I'm long in the tooth. I've seen it done before. We've seen it do it every season. And just because you're not knocking down someone 10-0 every day, for instance, or whatever, is there issues at Man City? 110%, right? But again, for instance, if we get every player back and, for instance, back to full fitness, and there's a good rotation in the squad, for instance, who knows what could happen? And and say that we're going to get stuffed against Liverpool. It's not a given. Not a given. I'm sorry, it's not. Let's move on. There was this interesting thing about. I thought it talked crap, etc. When they mentioned it, I thought they were talking rubbish. Then I saw Stefan Borson talking about it, for instance, and I thought, okay. The 115 charges. It appears that there's been a break now in 115 charges. That they were talking about 150 or 130. So okay. Anyway, so it appears that, for instance, I was on Sky. And so, for instance, and Carby saw, of course, with his black suit, and his white, look at me, I'm so important. And like, even though Man City has said they're innocent, could you please tell me what are Man City being accused of? They're baddies. Yeah. Anyway, so I pissed. So of course, Carby's more than happy, quite to say, of what we're being accused of. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Anyway, so often say, but it appears that the whole thing is stopped, delayed. Was about tonight. I know there's about because they're going to bring each person's going to bring in witnesses. So often there's going to be witnesses. So that's going to be interesting to see. But it's going to take several more months. All the I've seen road Laura Jennings and blah blah and Goldfish and saying, "Oh no, it's going to end soon. Rubbish. Going to be a deal." Uh, I wanted to win 110. I want it done. Okay, I'm on. Going to go. So, it's going to. I thought we'll look at. Yeah, what a load of nonsense. So yeah, yeah, but overall, I've listened to a few people talk, and I listened to, and again, I like to look at the big picture, stand back, look at the big picture. For instance, listen to a lot of people saying about, and again, there's issues, but back, I've got because after Liverpool Forest, they were Champions League, and also we got Palace. Got Palace, Forest, Palace, and then for instance, then we got Max coming up as well. So it's not going to be easy. But then again, no games are. I'm sorry, regardless of what people think, he's going to get split top 6-0. Nah. Even West Go Liverpool fan says no. For instance, they'll be happy with the 2-0. So, but yeah, Liverpool looking good so far. But then again, and again, it's not always a given. Not always a given. That things are gonna go wrong, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. For instance, it's 4 o'clock now. Time, lovely day. Very still very windy, and but yeah, it's okay. It's yeah, I had a bit more sleep yesterday. I didn't sleep very well last night, so I still look a bit drawn. So, but yeah, I got a few things on my mind. But other than that, listen to some content, etc. For instance, yeah. But and it is weighing heavy on my shoulders to tell you the truth, because I'm a big City fan. For instance, City's been my longest relationship, and to which I've had a lot. So, for instance, and I am disappointed. I can't tell you, but with saying that though, uh, I'm still optimistic. And I've got to be. And I believe we can come through it. We will, come through it. So I'm just going to say, be strong, keep faith. It's not given that we're going to deliver. I'm prepped and ready, and DS, on that team. Okay, now come on, Susie, come on, let's get and yeah, and I think we picked up any interest, which is like a blessing. Walker was actually on the bench. I didn't see him train, but he was on the bench. Must have gone, but anyway, so let's just hope Pep's put some cream on it, scratching. Yeah, I think what's given uh, 3 on Pep said, believe in me. Anyway, so, thinking about Man City, the City Extra saying how that Pep Guardiola might be terminating his contract in 2026, in the summer of 2026, which but earlier than 2027. So, which possibly. There's that chat I did talk about a new voice in the dressing room, but you never know. You never know, for instance. But we'll see what happens. And there's going to be. I'm sure there's going to be some more talk about Man City today, but I'll talk to you tomorrow about it. Anyway, take care, guys. Hope you have a good day. Take care. Love you. Sorry, Cat from Thailand. Me and my ship will go and take care.